Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. And today, we have a couple of very interesting things to discuss, namely regarding Ripple, XRP, Cardano. I think a lot of cool stuff. There's actually a lot of stuff that went on today, economically wise, by the way. And if you're wondering, tomorrow we are announcing the giveaway winners, so stay tuned for that as well. Having said that, Eleanor Tourette said on Twitter, confirmed, Gary Gensler will testify in front of the Senate Banking Committee a week from today. It's a little bit of a response to this. My sources tell me Gary will be testifying in front of the Senate on September 15th. CFTC Benham will testify in front of the Senate the day before. It will be interesting to see whether Gensler is asked to respond to what Beeman's answers are on crypto, basically. Adding, let's quickly see as well, the Senate Ag hearing is on their recently introduced crypto bill, which would give the CFTC authority to regulate all digital commodities, and the CFTC and key industry players will testify on the bill before it goes markup, vote, unlikely to pass this year, I'm told. And now she says, and I've just received confirmation he will be appearing in person. So it's going to be interesting to see what comes out of this. But yeah, it's happening exactly 1 week from now over on the 15th of September. Gary Gensler over on the Senate Banking Committee. Going to be interesting, guys. Going to be very freaking interesting. Then again, we have a lot of stuff. So Jeremy Hogan is also kind of going in on all this. So CoinDesk reported saying, ultimately, this is actually a long thread, right? There was a couple hours ago, there was a live piece. Let me quickly make sure there's no sound. There we go. Sometimes these things just go absolutely wild with the sound, just getting me off guard like that. Not today. Chair Gary Gensler speaks with CoinDesk's whatever about regulating the crypto industry, plus markets analysis with some other people on First Mover. Previewing this morning's speech, Gary Gensler tells CoinDesk, quote, "We are a cop on the beat. That's what Congress set up in the 1930s. But we work with market participants." Okay. "The public is investing for a better future based upon the efforts of others," Gary says. "And it's about that common enterprise and that entrepreneurial effort, which is the hallmark of investment contracts," said, which are securities. "Ultimately, it's about protecting the investing public," Gary Gensler says. "And if the investing public is investing in crypto to have some protection, there's a lot of protections that you right now are not getting the protection from, but should be because it's the law," Gary says. "In the job, I'm now in technology neutral, but I'm not policy neutral. Many crypto don't just resemble securities, they are," Gary Gensler says. That being the case, he adds, "Service providers, including crypto exchanges, have an obligation to come in and register. We're going to work with our colleagues at the U.S. Department of Treasury and Federal Reserve around stablecoins and ensuring there's the appropriate safety and soundness in those markets as well." We understand. It goes on for a little bit, but that's the most important. That's the most important drift. All right, so Jeremy had a response to this saying, this is interesting to me, "But it's not about protecting the public. If it was, the SEC would tell us clearly, don't buy this, that, or that token because it's a security, logically. Or they would say, hey, watch out for this, watch out for that. If this cryptocurrency has this, don't buy it. If this cryptocurrency has this, we think it's most likely fine. If this or that is inside the cryptocurrency, don't touch it at all." But they're not doing that. They're just saying ICOs are a wah, and the rest you got to figure out for yourself. Because even now, we're not 1,000% sure whether or not XRP, Ethereum, Bitcoin, anything is fine. It's still extremely difficult to figure that out. Now, that is clear. And you would then focus enforcement efforts on scams and frauds instead of, every crypto kind of. That is clear. What is not clear is why the SEC is not protecting us. Did they use too much caps? Sorry, it's just frustrating to watch. Time to either meditate or... Interesting, but yeah. There's actually a little bit more because I can shout about this for an hour. It's not going to change anything, obviously. We know Gary Gensler's not doing an amazing job, so let's just accept that that's the case and then move on. There's actually two things I think I have to share. So James Fillon had a response to Stuart Alderoty of Ripple, whom said, "Another famous quote from Joseph Kennedy, 'I wanted power. I thought money would give me power, and so I made money, only to discover that it was politics, not money, that really gave a man power," end quote. Then quoting the SEC. "Make no mistake, this is a political power grab. It's not the law, and it's not good policy, and it's at your expense." That's pretty heavy already. But James had a response saying, "Stuart Alderoty is describing the SEC and its efforts to regulate crypto. Make no mistake, this is a political power grab. It's not the law, not good policy. It's at your expense." That's already pretty crazy. But there's another thing which happened a little bit earlier today, about 33 minutes ago. We got ourselves a Ripple SEC lawsuit update. The parties have filed a joint proposal to govern sealing issues relating to the upcoming summary judgment motions to be filed in this case. Crypto Wolf is asking, why is the judge taking so long to force the SEC to comply with her multiple orders of providing the Hinman documents? It's kind of strange. And somebody says, to amici, because I believe they're quoting that there's two specific amici that can give their thoughts on the matters. Yeah, so defendants also note that promptly filing public versions of the summary judgment briefs is important to at least two sets of amici. Now, John Dean is one of those, and it could be that woman representing the Blockchain Association or something like that is also one of them. So Perianne DC, that would be. She said a couple of months ago that founder of the Digital Chamber, not Blockchain Association, my bad. She said before that she was going to file for it, but that was like over a year ago, and I don't think she ever confirmed that she got it. So I'm not 1,000% sure if she actually got this or who exactly the second one would be. If you guys know, let me know down below. But this is just the next step. The parties have filed a joint proposal to govern sealing issues relating to the upcoming summary judgment motions to be filed in the case. What James already said, let me actually quickly come back to that one. Let me show it to you guys. About, I think, a day and a half ago. Let's quickly see here. James pinned it. There we go. So about, 2 days ago, James also said everything that was going to happen regarding this summary judgment. Let me put it into perspective perfectly right there. He said they're going to be filing these motions for summary judgment right around September 13th, right? Maybe a little bit before that. But most likely, just like the expert challenge motions, please keep in mind that there will most likely be similar sealing disputes regarding what will be sealed and what will be public in connection with the motions for summary judgment. Therefore, it's my expectation that the summary judgment motions will be filed under seal September 13th, at least preliminarily, until either District Judge Torres works out what can be filed publicly and what will remain under seal, or the parties otherwise agree on the sealing issues. And that's kind of what we're seeing a start of right now, that they're trying to basically make sure that we can progress as quickly as possible by hiding as much information as soon as possible. It's annoying, it is, sure, but it's the next step of where we need to go. So again, next step, the big step coming up September 13th is the next phase starting. We might not get the craziest amount of information at that exact moment, but from there on forward, September 13th, things are starting to move. Regarding ADA, I actually had so many articles, but one thing is just today. Let me just quickly make one summary. Let's skip the ADA thing, except for this. Today, we had a very important calendar. We had the ECB interest rate, which was increased by 0.75. We had ourselves a speech by Christine Lagarde, which was very interesting. And we had ourselves a speech by Fed Chair Jerome Powell, which obviously we also watched, and which obviously was a very interesting endeavor as well. A couple of conclusions were made, but you have to watch the stream for that, as I don't have them in front of me anymore. I didn't prepare to cover this right now. Now, if you're wondering what's next up, though, right? These were important decisions. What we have next up and coming, is we have ourselves the couple of speeches tomorrow from other Fed people, if that's what you enjoy. We have ourselves the interest rate announcement September 13th over in the U.S. Inflation numbers over in the U.S. CPI will get explained on September 13th. We then have ourselves the next up in line is the Ethereum merge coming up as well over on the 15th of September. A little bit later, obviously, we have ourselves the interest rate numbers over in the U.S. at the FOMC meeting. And then, I guess, same day, potentially a day later, as this is September 21st and 22nd, we have ourselves the Cardano ADA Vaso hard fork as well. So that's what's up and coming in the next, week and a half or so, about 2 weeks. It's going to be interesting to watch this in the crypto space. I'm not exactly sure if there's anything else that's really what you need to watch out for. I guess you could just look up at some of these calendars, right? Which is what I usually do, just to see exactly what decisions have to be made at what point, and just kind of scroll through for yourself, for example. And the ones that are red marked usually are the more important decisions, not always. Then again, maybe because of Queen Elizabeth, her timing, I guess, let's call it like that. I'm not sure exactly how else to phrase it. Her passing. Maybe things are going to change a little bit over in the UK, or things are going to potentially be a little bit more volatile regarding new decisions. Obviously, right now they have to reprint $1 trillion and whatnot. A lot of things have to happen. But to that, I don't honestly know, I'm honestly not sure, so we'll have to see. As this obviously has not happened for, 95 freaking years. So, yeah, 96 even. That's crazy. That is crazy. Very strange day for the people in the UK, I assume. Should be a very strange day. The rain for such a long time. Then again, yeah. Tomorrow, we're going to announce the giveaway winners, 11 a.m. I know exactly what time zone anymore. I put it over on Twitter. I put it over in Telegram. Check it out. I'm not sure exactly what time zone was used for that announcement. So don't remember. You'll see the giveaway winners tomorrow. I'm going to put them all over on Twitter. It's going to be interesting. And yeah, a couple of cool videos coming out later today. Not today, tomorrow. Stay tuned for that. And make sure you subscribe to the channel if you have not done that yet. And that was it. See you.